Right, I'm just delighted to welcome Ross from Victor Paris in Edinburgh. Ross has kindly agreed to join us here for our first sort of question and answers and an insight into some of our showroom partners and how they see the business developing over the next 12 months, so to speak, and what challenges they've faced over the last 12 months. So we've got a few questions for Ross, and Ross can tell us a little bit about himself and Victor Paris. Ross, just a general intro into yourself to maybe begin with before we just lead into the questions, but just to get a background on you, what your role is at Victor Paris, how long you've been there, and you know what you enjoy about the industry, maybe to begin with. So, I mean, first of all, I mean, I know you've been in the industry a while, but if you can just elaborate on that a little bit to explain to people how long you've been in the bathroom sector.
Yeah, so I've been in this shop here for 15 years. So this was my first jump into bathrooms and in design, and that's you know, kind of fallen in love with it. You always try and push on to be better. Every year is another learning step, and yeah, 15 years later, you're still going strong. Before that, I was always in sales, so I was at DFS, Benson's Beds, a few other places, and I'd always kind of sold the family products, and every time I'd kind of been offered a job, and then one day I decided, yeah, I'll come up and have a look, and kind of started the next again day.
Oh,
so the showroom here, that's been here for 47 years. So there's a lot of history in Edinburgh with Victor Paris, with the company. You know, there's a kind of a jingle slogan about make your home a palace when you buy at Victor Paris. It's always on the radio and things, and a lot of locals know it. And so the showroom and the company does have a lot of history, a lot of recommendation. Anybody in the marketplace, so they're kind of going to come here. So it's a good place to be for selling bathrooms.
Yeah. And how did the you know, obviously been in the Victor Paris been around for a long time, but a lot of the people will be watching this won't know the name. Where's the name come from? I mean, I know little bits about it, but you maybe be able to explain a little bit more.
So the rumor has it is Victor's wife, Elizabeth, Betty, she always wanted to go to Paris and she never got to go. And it was kind of a joke between the two of them that he would take it to Paris. Victor is Victor, Vincent Derighetti, and it was kind of the two names went together, Victor Paris Bathrooms.
That's brilliant.
Went on from there.
It's a nice little. It's always nice to have a little story how these things come about, and you know, it explains to the people watching it. I'm sure there's other showrooms out there that are based down south, where obviously we've been based over the last 10 years as TSL, but when we sort of we're opening up now and moving up the country, so to speak, and obviously we've crossed the border into my homeland, so in that capacity, it's nice to get a bit of history and understanding of how other showrooms come about and how they're formed, basically back in their at the beginning. You know, we discussed this with marketing, and we've done a lot of media and social content, and this is, as I say, this is something a bit different for us. So it's really just to get to know our customers. I mean, I'm fortunate enough to come up and get to see you guys personally, face to face, but a lot of the rest of our business don't get to have that face to face contact and you know, and understanding about the customer base, the same as you know, as we do as regional sales managers or sales directors or whatever title we've got, that we're out on the road. So it's just to, you know, show a bit of a background on how the relationships are formed, understandings, you know, where you want to take your business and where it's come from. So the first question I've got here, based on obviously what we've all gone through in the last 24 months, is how has the industry been for the Scottish KBB business since the lockdown restrictions were eased earlier in the year?
Well, I think it'd be quite similar across the board, but I'd say that it's been busy, it's been buoyant, it's been good. Obviously it comes with its challenges. You know, there's only so many hours in the day. that type of thing. But it is good. It's definitely busy as long as it keeps continuing. Any challenges that are going to come, it's just through deliveries, getting some items that are a bit longer than normal, but everybody's in the same boat. Installers, you know, they've got a long lead time for good installers. So, but again, it's across the board. So consumers will just have to pick who they want to go with and wait that time, because don't think it's going to disappear too quickly.
No, I mean, from our side, we like most manufacturers, we're all in the same, like you say, we're all in the same boat. I think everyone's suffering with one form of raw material or another. It's just getting things into the country. But you mentioned about the installers there as well, and we see the same trends down here as obviously you just mentioned up there, where they're almost getting a concertina effect where things are backing up, and you wonder where that gets to the point where you just physically have no installers left to fit things for a greater period of time. So I think it's going to be interesting going into next year how that materializes. Or I suppose it also creates job opportunities for new fitters, new people maybe diversifying themselves and going from one trade to another. So we might see the plumbing network or the carpentry network expanding to compensate for gaps in the market, which obviously we as manufacturers and you as showrooms are creating. You're creating jobs basically at the end of the day by selling these luxury goods.
I think one boat of our string is that we have our central distribution warehouse at Broxburn, which is 70,000 square feet. So that holds a lot of stock. So when we are selling a product, we can check if we physically have it. So in terms of deliveries, we've got it. You can go and pick it up. It's next day delivery, whatever. And then other manufacturers, other distributors, the UK stock's not bad. Some things are maybe not the best, but you just have to take it how it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be an added advantage having such a large capacity warehouse that you've got there to I think stock's going to be king for the next. Well, it always is to a degree, but I think more so at the moment when we know that the getting produce is difficult. If you've got reams of stock, you've definitely got an advantage over your competition, I would say, in that regard. In regards to that stock, so it leads us on to the next sort of question is what bathroom trends are Victor Paris noticing with their customers, and what do they expect to see more in 2022?
Colours have always been our thing for a number of years, so we've always been big on colours. Showroom kind of displays that we're push on colours, so that will still continue. I think it might be an introduction to different colours, maybe matte whites, maybe gunmetals, maybe red golds. You don't really know, but colours will still be there. Colour pottery, don't know. We've got it. It's on show. Looks good. It's been a while since anybody's seen it. Will it come back and sell volumes? Don't know, but people will buy it because it's a bit quirky. It's a bit different. Everything else is white, and you can get a pink suite or a blue suite. Why not?
Yeah, no.
So
I mean,
colours.
We've seen that colour, that obviously, especially inside the M25 sector, the central London belt in particular. But I think it does bleed out to central London eventually. It's interesting, you being in the capital up in Scotland, that you're witnessing the same things. Where we see the changes is when we get out a little bit further, maybe 30, 40, 50 miles outside of London. There's certain areas that they're still not interested in colour. They're sort of still. You could say, is it behind the times? I don't know. It's just the trend's not quite got there yet. So it seems to be the capital cities that do pick these things up quickly, the sort of metropolitan kind of style. So I mean, that's interesting. In relation to the rest of the team there, because at Victor Paris you've got a big team of designers and sales staff, and do they all find the same thing, or do you all vary in styles yourselves?
I think every salesperson will have their kind of go-to favourites in their own kind of marketplace, as it were. Whether that's they attract sauna and steam rooms and experienced showers, or whether they attract traditional, classical sanitary wear. Everybody's kind of got their go-to, and we've got 10 designers in the Edinburgh showroom now. So from a marketing point of view, or strategy point of view, we kind of cover everything.
Yeah.
So there's all different experiences, there's all different abilities, and we all help each other out. So if somebody's helping a client that's wanting traditional, but they want to introduce colour, someone else will know about colour, the two will work together and put a proposal together for the client. So everything's doable.
Yeah, absolutely. I know, I mean, you mentioned you got 10 staff there. I mean, just to give the people that are going to watch this or listen to this, just to give them an idea of the size. What do you know the exact square footage of the showroom there? Because I mean, obviously, I've been
square footage. There's around about 200 displays on show.
Yeah. So
and the displays are quite full. You know, we try and tile everything, full walls. Each bay is individual, so it's trying not just have a big run of 4 or 5 kind of all the same.
Yeah.
The showroom's based on 2 floors, so upstairs is more modern, contemporary, with our wellness centre where we feature our jacuzzis, our saunas, our steam rooms, the BD style Japanese toilets and things. And downstairs is more contemporary, entry level, and then a huge traditional area as well.
Yeah.
The traditional area does well because the Edinburgh properties are old, the old town, the new town, things like that. So that always plods along. It always ticks the boxes for a lot of people.
I mean, it was one thing that took me back, is obviously seeing how big the showroom is. I mean, obviously fortunate enough to be to be able to walk into a lot of showrooms down here and across the country. And there's one sort of north of England that I know is exceptionally large, but yet they do other things like make big in tiles and things. In terms of bathroom showrooms, I think you've got to be, if you're not in the top, you're definitely top 5, but you could well be the biggest that I've walked into in terms of personally square footage from what I've seen. So that I know that, and you offer like you said, everything from entry level to the top level of the market. And obviously we have recently obviously done the displays, and they're full base. They're not little spaces. They're full bathrooms that give people the real feel for for what they can do in their own spaces.
And we kind of believe that will always be there, that touch and feel presence, being able to stand in a bay and imagine it as your room. The directors have always thought that the showrooms should be huge, and they are, every single one. So the Edinburgh's 2 floors, about 200 displays. Our Glasgow showroom has a potential of 7 floors. It's occupied, I think, 5 at the moment. So there's loads of expansion that can happen in there. Dundee is on a single floor, but again, it's still huge with a wellness centre as well.
No, it's great. It's great. I mean, we see. I know from obviously being with you as well, is that, and I think I saw on the screen behind you that when you do your presentations, I think you're using virtual worlds as well.
Got virtual worlds, We use a lot of virtual worlds. We use ArchiCAD as well. So we've kind of got both packages going.
No, brilliant. Why did the partnership between Victor Paris and TSL, ourselves, the Shower Lab, make sense to you and Mark and the team there?
Well, it was just to support a fellow countryman, wasn't it?
Well, I'm going to take that. I was delighted, first and foremost, to be able to come home. I mean, anyone, like just for people watching this, is my home is only 15 minutes from Victor Paris, so there has always been that nice thing about obviously wanting to deal back in Scotland. It's, I've been down here 18 years, so it's been a long time coming to be able to deal with locals in that respect. But I appreciate the support. Obviously we've got a sales representative in there who looks after you, who's also a fellow countryman. who's been in the industry a long, long time, and I'm delighted to have him on board as well. But it's been a great start, and we're very appreciative. I think we've put on so far about 7 or 8 displays.
Yeah, 7, 8 displays, each one very unique. You know, very wide, very high, different colours, quirky handles, loads of different stuff. So nothing is a kind of a mainstream product, out the box concept, and that's what ticked the box mostly for becoming partners. So it was, you know, the bespoke ability of the product, the colour choice, the handle choice, your expertise as well, because of the, you know, you come across as if we need anything, let you know, and you'll try and figure out if it can physically be done.
Yeah, we've all, well, I have, and I think, you know, we've all come, a lot of us have come from the showroom background. At the end of the day, you know, I've come from the showroom background. I've worked in the showroom design and, you know, sitting that side of the desk, so to speak. My MD's the same. We've had other people in the business the same as that. So I think it helps understanding what the client's asking of you, and that gives us a bit of an eye opener. But yeah, you build a business and you set a business on, you know, patterns, and you have lines of products. But I think putting just goalposts in and having them fixed in cement is not necessarily the way to do business. And we've never been like that. We know that every single customer we deal with is slightly different. They all operate in slightly different ways. They're unique, and I think that's the beauty about the bathroom industry, is everyone is unique, and that's why there is a lot of showrooms that do well, because everyone's got the different flair, and, you know, every customer that comes to that door is going to be different. So I think it helps in that respect. But it was nice to do different things like unique handles to you that are, you know, unique to Victor Paris, and you know, Mark, when we're talking to yourself and Mark, doing things that are over height, that are bespoke, that are again completely unique to you, that differentiate you from any other showroom in that area or in the country, you know, in that capacity. So it's been a nice way to start a relationship in that capacity. What are Victor Paris planning to do moving into 2022 to continue differing themselves from the competition?
Well, we're currently redoing more of the showroom. So there's a huge area that's been ripped out to showcase a few of the new manufacturers, new partners that we deal with for their new launch. So that will be quite a big thing, but I don't think anyone else has it. So that'll be quite a nice thing to see finished and on display and start selling. But that's kind of always been the case though here, that it never stops. You'll know the fourth rail bridge as soon as it's finished painting, they're back again to the beginning. So it's the same thing. The displays are just ongoing.
And in a showroom of your size, you can see why that happens, because, you know, I say I've come from reasonably what we would deem as a large showroom, still like 4,000 square foot showrooms with like 40, 50 displays, you know, which is still quite a large showroom in the grand scheme of things. But when you compare it you could put that into yours, you know, nearly 4 times. So keeping up those displays up to date, tiles that, you know, we all know things get discontinued from time to time. It's a full-time job, you know, but it's impressive. It's very impressive from what we've seen, and we'll share some images of the showroom, I hope, that will coincide with this interview, basically, and hopefully explain to people how vast it is, and the detail that you guys go to, because as I say, you mentioned the finishes, that, you know, from what I'm seeing, it's not just that, it's the quirky spaces that you're designing as well, which is great, you know. And just a very last question: how do Victor Paris expect the market to change going into 2022?
It's a bit of a difficult one, because at some point in terms of business wise it should tail off, but how long that will be, don't really know. I mean, in theory, all the customers that anybody's been getting at the moment, they were probably going to get them anyway, but maybe just over the course of 3, 4, 5 years. And all that's happened is we've all taken this business that we were going to get, but condensed it into the last, 18 months, 2 years. But people always buy houses. House builders are always building. So that continual growth means that we'll always still sell bathrooms. So I don't see it tailing away too quickly.
I mean, during my visits to Scotland of late, and I was up there 2 or 3 times in a really quite a short space of time, but even over the last 12 months coming up, I've never seen so many houses being built. Never seen so, and it's one thing seeing houses getting built down and around London and Surrey and Sussex areas and things like that, but we've got a big expansive space, but Scotland are building a lot around Edinburgh. I mean, it's great to see, because like you say, that 3, 4, 5 year window, then they're going to be looking at changing things. They're going to be, or even at the out from the offset, they want to put their unique stamp on that house themselves. So it's a new clientele overnight, isn't it? To a degree. It would be. I think it's. I mean, we see it, or I've personally seen it. I've personally seen it is next year, or over the last year as well, that people obviously been stuck at home. They've been looking at the bathrooms. People not been able to go on holidays, so they've got a little bit of, they've almost got savings that they maybe never had previously, and they've decided, what, I'm not going to go on holiday. I'm going to actually spend it on the house. So I think there's been a lot of that that's come into the market. Whether that continues,
all the way through. It filters all the way through. You have people that maybe they've aged in the last couple of years, so the bath comes out, the easy walk-in shower goes in. You've got people that have now got more kids, bigger families, so they need to redo certain rooms. Bathrooms come into it, the usual repairs because they ignored it before, so now they have to do it. You've got people that had memberships to, fancy gyms and stuff like that had saunas and stuff, but they were all closed. So now they're looking at trying to do their own home spa, put in a pod in the garden and fit in a home office and a nice walk-in shower in it, something like that.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. Yeah, I think it's going to be an eye opener going into 2022. I mean, we ourselves, we've got a lot more stuff coming, which we've touched a little bit on, but there's things that we've sort of got up our sleeve for next year. Raw material dependent. That will depend on how quickly we can get them out. We've done all the R&D on them. We're keen as mustard to get a lot of stuff out, so we look forward to that, and look forward to giving you more sort of ammunition to do your job, basically. I think it's going to be, I know it's going to be a strong partnership. It already is taking off in that direction, and I think we'll grow with you guys going forward, and we'll strengthen our relationship partnership moving into 2022. Yeah,
it'll be good. Be exciting.
Brilliant. Well, I really appreciate your time, Ross. I don't want to eat into too much of your day because I know how busy you are as well. So I really do appreciate you giving us the time to do this, and it's always nice to be the first one. We'll be handing this back over to the marketing team, and it'll be out on our social media channels in the coming weeks.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Ross. Appreciate your help.
Cheers, Alex. See you later.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.